everybody to the podcast.
Oh,
And today we have a very interesting young lady who is doing big work in her community. And she's so inspiring at such a young age that she's able to engage with um, men that are dealing with mental health issues. She's basically a role model for like a lot of people, even people that are even older than her. And without wasting any time, let me introduce today our guest. Her name is known as Ndoni, and she is from Durban in South Africa. And today's theme is about healing, voice, and visibility, as well as the power of purpose in the broken world. So, welcome, Ndoni, to the podcast today.
thank you, Vuyo. Thank you for having me.
All right, sis. So, thank you so much for availing yourself. This is a very important conversation that we're having because a lot of people they tend to avoid these kinds of conversations. So, for us, Tina, abantu besifazane mostly, we get affected when something is
Mhm.
wrong with the male child or with the man in the
Mm,
household, but then we don't really go to the roots or see the importance of going to the roots to
mm,
check ukuthi this behavior maybe wenzakalani, what really happened.
Sukaphi.
We just tend to hate or to be upset and want to fight back.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. But before we get to that, the name of your organization that you have founded is called I
Ah,
Exist.
yes.
And that is such a bold and meaningful name. I like it. What inspired this organization?
Okay, let me just start here. Undoni is initially Uxolile Mkhize, a young girl who grew up in Durban. Um, what motivated this initiative is that Undoni has been a victim of GBV.
Okay.
So there is no sort of abuse she has not experienced in the hands of a male person. Yes. So when that happened, she had nobody on her corner. There was no support structure. Um, she actually was the one to blame that she probably did something to him for him to abuse her or whatnot. Society tends to say maybe a person was raped because she was wearing inappropriate clothing and stuff.
Absolutely. I know that.
Yes. So her fight was for her to try prevent what happened to her from happening to other people, to try prevent it from happening to a girl child that's coming after her. As a woman, she knows Wuti, she's still gonna give birth and she might have girl children, boy children. So she's now trying to fight this thing from the root so that when she gives birth and for those coming after her live in a society of present fathers or present men. If I say
Yeah,
present men, I do not only mean physically, but men who are present mentally and emotionally as well.
exactly.
Yes. So she decided that she wants to open this organization which will focus on the well-being of men from a young boy to an old man, where she will try by all means to fight the GBV issues in our community from the core, from its roots. Because what
Exactly.
many people are doing, that we are taking it from the branches where we now say justice for so and so. Men need to stop abusing. Men need to stop this. But where did it start? How did it start?
Absolutely. That's the biggest issue that we tend to ignore or we don't really pay attention to.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So I really like what you've just said. I know that there's like a lot of deep inspiration, behind what you've just explained now. For someone to wake up and say, I'm going to start an organization and I'm going to be a leader in this because I want to save someone. I want to save another child. I want to be able to speak to another boy child who might
Yes.
get affected with the certain issues of having um, dealing with mental health issues or abuse or whatever. So you decided that you want to do this so that you can help someone. And that is a big thing. It's not a small thing. A lot of people just keep quiet and they be like, I'm not the first person. I'm not going to be the last person. So why bother? You see? So I really like the spirit behind you actually taking an initiative and not only opening an organization, but being actively
Mm,
working on it and
mm,
doing the work that people will feel in their lives and making a difference in their lives. That's a big thing.
yes.
Wow. So now let's talk about the way that you spoke about your GBV as a survivor, your
Yes.
history. There's many people that would share their stories similar to yours. I mean, there's like so many women that have gone through
Mm-hmm.
what you've just explained.
Yes.
Now, this has shaped you to the woman that you are today, and it made you a leader that you are today. Do
Yes.
you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Um, it has actually strengthened me over the years. At first, it breaks you
Yeah.
and you blame yourself. You take all the
Yeah.
blame and you blame yourself. You try to find the wrongs that you did. Why me? Why did it happen to me? Did I do anything wrong? Maybe I did this. Maybe I caused it. Because in most cases, especially if GBV involves an intimate partner, what what they do, they first work on your mentality. So they first manipulate your mental health,
Yeah.
making you believe that what they say is actually what is, you know.
Exactly. Or they would turn around and be like, you see what you've made me do because
Yeah,
of you doing this and that. This is
yeah.
what you have made
Mhm.
me do.
That is what happens, and they also like tarnish or put a stain on your self confidence. You know, like they make you believe that whatever they say is the right thing. You are always on the wrong.
Yeah.
Make you feel little, like nobody can love you. They are the only person who love you. They are actually doing you a favor for loving you. So
That's so scary.
if you leave them, there's no other way around, or there's nowhere else you can go. You're actually nothing without them, you know.
Wow.
So
Um,
yes.
yeah. I'm so glad that I'm actually speaking to someone who has personally experienced that because a lot of people it's sort of like an illusion. People just
Mm,
talk about it,
mm,
as a common thing that happens maybe to a third party, not really to
mm,
them. And it's a very important thing to make it as an awareness because
mm.
people don't really women don't really notice those things when they happen to them
No, they
until
don't.
she has really really lost herself in that
Mm.
relationship and she's broken down or she's turned into a mean person just because of the way she's
Yes.
being treated.
You
So
actually lose yourself because sometimes it feels like there's voodoo involved, because sometimes you do things without realizing that you are doing things, you know. And when you are out of that relationship and then memories come back and you're like, I really did that. How? How did I do
wow.
it? When did I do it? Why did I do it? You know. And
Yeah.
sometimes people would ask a person who's in an abusive relationship, why don't they leave them? Why don't they come out of the relationship? It's not easy because By the time it reaches the physical stage, the mind is already gone. They've already worked on the mind. So now the only way the person can come out of such a relationship is by working on the person's mind. Because they will not come out by just saying, "Hi, Puma, oh, like leave the person, just get out of the relationship." You need to
Yeah.
work on the mind. But what I can say helps the most is prayer.
Wow.
Be prayerful.
Guidance. Be prayerful. Ask for
Yes,
wisdom.
be prayerful, because what I can say, Mina, I can't really say that somebody took me out of that relationship, but God did. And sometimes a person would want to get out of relationship, but they are afraid of the person, of what the person might do to them if they get out. In my
Wow.
situation, I was also afraid of getting out. And the day I told the person that it was like over, when I got the courage, it got worse. The physical abuse got like worse, and it was publicized, and the person was stalking me, coming to my work and all of that. So people tend to fear all those things, but it eventually dies
Yo.
down at the end. However, one has to be vigilant, because some people are psychos out there. Some
Yeah.
kids lead to murder.
I just
But
want us
what I can
to,
say is that it has strengthened me. It has
yes.
made me realize that it has made me realize how much strength I have as a person, as a woman, how I got to conquer this on my own with no solid support system. But I
Yeah.
survived it, and I can only thank God for that.
Would you ever go back to that man again if he has changed? I'm just asking for a
Never.
friend.
Oh my Lord. I don't even dream about it. Actually, the guy greets me and stuff, and he recently DM'd me on Facebook, and I was like, the nerve
Oh
of this
no.
man.
Just checking you out if you're still alive. What are you busy with nowadays?
He's like, "You're now more beautiful. Can you see yourself?" I'm like, "Aibo, dude. Aibo. Like, really now?"
Yeah, just let me be beautiful in distance. Don't come any
Yes, let
closer.
me be beautiful in peace. Thank you very much.
Man, I guess it's part of growth as well. And
Yes.
I'm happy for you that you came out of it
Mm.
um, when you are still okay.
Yes.
Physically, you had no broken teeth, no broken
Physically, there
eyes or
are no visible bruises, but they were internal
emotional.
bruises.
I
There
can
were
imagine.
internal bruises.
Those,
I went to the hospital, so they treated me. However, sometimes there are pains in the body. And then
yo,
they are like reminders with, "Hey, once upon a time you went through this. Don't
you were
forget that
punching bag.
easily."
Hey, that's not a good memory at all.
Mm,
But then I guess as time goes by, because you're still young, from what I know, you're really still young, even though you're doing such big things for the community.
yeah.
And so you're going to grow, and hopefully all those inner bruises will fade away as time goes by. And even the scars in your heart,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully as time goes by, they will just be patched off
Yeah, they
totally.
will. It's just that healing is a really long process. And once you go through something like this, you build walls, like very thick and tall walls around yourself, around your heart, guarding you. And
Yes,
you are now always on the alert. So everything becomes a trigger. A word
wow,
said unnoticingly, it can be a trigger. An action done, umuntu enganakile, can also be a trigger. So,
exactly.
mm,
I get what you mean. And I'm sure a lot of people who've had experiences or have gotten closer to those experiences will definitely agree with you on that.
Mm,
But again, well done for stepping out of that hell crazy relationship. And
mm,
going forward, you are a wise woman now, and you will
mm,
definitely get the best. Let's
mm,
move on. So so basically now your passion is on mental health, men's healing. Your work
mm,
focuses on men's emotional well-being,
mm,
and that is a topic that is still a taboo in many communities. Like I said, it's being avoided, or we are not well educated about
mhm,
it, which is
mm,
why there's so much violence and problems that are coming from
mm,
men or
yes.
boyfriends or male partners.
Mhm,
So you've briefly explained why you've focused in there. I'm not
mm,
going to ask that question again, but I want to ask you, how is it going dealing and talking to men closer
mm.
to them? And you are such a young, beautiful young lady, and you're handling different types of men who have different types of problems. How is that? How are they handling you? How is it dealing with them?
Trust me, it is not easy.
Oh.
It is
Yeah,
not easy. Let's start with the stigma in our society that
right.
men do not cry, men can't be emotional, men should not talk, they should bottle things in them and deal with them as men, you know.
Yes.
So sometimes it's not easy for them to just open up like us. You just
Yeah.
have to talk with them and gradually allow them to let you in, until they are comfortable enough for them to share their story with you. Um, and as the more I work with them, as much as my focus was on the GBV side, on wanting to stop and trying to fight GBV,
Yeah.
but I've come to realize that our men are hurt. Our
Wow.
men are bleeding and nobody cares. Nobody has
Yeah.
taken an initiative to ask them, how are you? Are you okay? What happened? And there's more cases of GBV towards men, but they're not spoken about. And there are more, in most cases, say about plus minus 90% of men were molested as kids, and it's still happening today. But the focus is more on an older man raping a young girl. But there's no focus on cases where an older woman, you know, makes advances on a younger man, sleeps with a younger man. And one thing that I remember, I once had a case where a young man told me that he was twice molested. When he was 6 years old, he was molested, and when he was 14. But at that time, he did not know. He believed that it's something that was supposed to happen. And when he grew up,
Wow.
becoming a man, he now understood what was happening to him back then. So when now he meets this lady, all this anger comes back. Now he wants to grab the lady, beat her up, and all of that. So what are we gonna say, Tina? Justice for so and so. We're not gonna
Exactly.
ask Uguti what led to this, where did it start? We focus more on the upbringing of girls than we focus on the upbringing of a boy child.
I
In
guess that's the effect that a lot of people
mm,
make them avoid talking about their abuse as men, because
yeah,
also from my understanding, even when they go to open cases in the police stations, those
mm-hmm,
that find the confidence or strength to actually
yeah,
go and report the cases, they
mm-hmm.
tend to be, I'm not sure if this is a fact for sure, but I heard that they sometimes feel embarrassed because of how they're being handled, and how sometimes those cases are not being taken seriously. But
It
then,
is a case. Sorry to cut you. It is a case because they get mocked. One, if you're a man, you go open a rape case. Abanxeni ukuthi, why open a case when a woman is just giving herself to you? Just chow the thing and carry on with life. But they do not know
Right.
that it also affects men as much as it affects a woman. Mm.
Right. Wow. I guess we there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and
Mhm.
educating people to actually go back in the roots and check, get to understand a person, especially once they have those signs of that unusual behavior, instead of
Yes.
judging them and, being violent back at them. It's not
Mm-hmm.
really helping anyone.
No, it
Um,
is not.
yeah. So how do they like handle you? Do they laugh sometimes? Do they make jokes, or it's all just serious talks and you just go there to do the work and and then you leave? Because I'm trying to
Oh,
picture.
it's actually very interesting because there's no topic we do not discuss. So
Okay.
depending on the topic, sometimes we are serious, sometimes we just fool around, but
Yeah.
still discussing a certain topic. However, ke, into abahlupha ngayo, the problem they give me is they most of them see a wife, so they now all wanna wife me up.
This hot young girl. Yeah, this little nice number. I can
That's the
imagine.
problem. And sometimes it happens that the person has never even met me. They just know my voice and my number. And now it's gonna be phone calls after phone calls, messages after messages. Um, I wanna make you my wife. I love you, you know. But it's working with them is very interesting. It is really interesting, and
Yeah.
you find that with men, no matter how old they are, that inner child is always there. That inner
I
child
know.
is always there. And they love it when you bring that inner child out. They love it when the inner child comes out to play, you know.
Because
So,
they don't usually get that kind of treatment. They
yes,
always have to be strong. They always have to
yes,
be always wearing that shield of being a man. You always have to be strong
yes.
and tough and hard
And it
no
is
matter what.
believed,
So
yes, and it is
yeah.
believed that a boy child needs the tough love and all of that, which I beg to differ. A boy child needs love more. You know, they also
I
need to be told that they are loved every now and then because the love they receive is the love they are going to give when they now choose a girlfriend or a wife and all of that.
Let me stop you right there. What you've just said is such a big topic for another day, but let's stick for a second on it. So I like what you just said because number one, as a parent, as a mom, I have a boy. And with my experience in life, with
Mm,
dating history and what so on, whatever happens when you date someone and you stop dating them and you try to find a better person who's better than your ex, you
yes.
always come back to thinking, how was this person raised actually? Why are they doing this? So
Mm-hmm.
now, when you have a child, a son, for me,
Mm,
it makes me feel like I want to love my child so badly, so
yes.
much, so that when he goes out there one day, when he finds a
Mm-hmm.
partner, he will be
Mm.
like, my mother loved me so much. And
This is
so
what
I
love
know
is.
how much,
Mm,
exactly, I know how to handle a woman. I know how
mm,
much a woman loves, and I know how to express that love to someone else because that's what I've seen being done to me.
yes. Mm-hmm.
You see, now that's a big difference because people tell their kids when they're still boys, no man, umfana akakhali, umfana akakhali, indoda ayikhali.
Exactly. And
And
a boy child is never told that they are loved. You never like spend time with them. It's always the rough spots and the rough gaming and the tough love and all
yeah,
of that. But
but
in actual fact, they are the ones that need the soft love.
exactly.
Mm,
I guess, but that is based on different types of communities that we live in.
mm,
Some areas of our societies, they would just be like the strong, hardcore families that will be like, ah, a man will just see themselves how they grow. They have to be tough. And then with the generation that we are now, and the things that we have seen happening in our lives, and we are more matured, and we are more um, willing to educate more about
Yes.
love, because it's the most important thing that
Mm.
everybody needs.
Yes.
So knowing that when you're building your child, building them on a
Mhm.
solid foundation of love, that is
Mm.
going to be a generation of his family and his
Yes.
children's families, because
Mm.
he's going to grow and become a man and a
Mm.
husband. He's going to
Mm.
have kids. His
Mm.
kids will be taught what he has been taught, what he's been
Mm.
practicing. They would basically learn from him. And they will do that to their families as well when they grow up. Can you
Mm.
imagine how beautiful
A
this
society of beautiful
could be?
families, beautiful, tight families. Because this thing is actually like I call it a law of attraction,
Yeah.
because if let me make an example with a girl child. If a girl child has a present father, a father who's not only present financially or physically only, but who's mentally and emotionally
Physically.
present, yes, the girl child, when she
Yeah.
grows up, there's a huge percentage, huge possibility that she will meet men who are emotionally and mentally present as well, because the father is the girl's first love. But if the father abandons the girl child, when the girl child grows up, she is likely to meet men who will abandon her as well. So it's the same thing with the boy child as well.
That's a very sad thing. It's basically like a repetition of what you've gone through,
Yes.
and because mentally that's what you've been exposed to, and that's what you know.
Mm.
So you think of yourself along those lines, and then you end up
Mm.
attracting it,
Yes.
not really,
Yeah.
meaning to attract it. You don't have intentions to attract it, but because it's in your subconscious mind, it's there because that's what
Mm.
you know. I guess until you grow up and you learn after being,
Mm.
heartbroken, and then you're like,
Mm.
no, man, there must be another way.
It
And
should
then
be something different, because when usakula,
exactly.
it's like, okay, this is the definition of love. Yabo.
Hmm.
This is what I always tell parents, ukuthi, be the example kubantwana benu. Show them how somebody should be loved. Show them what love is at home. So when they grow up, they know, ukuthi, okay, this is what love looks like. This is what love sounds like. This is what they
Yeah.
will grow up with, you know. Angakhuli
Exactly.
umntwana with the fear ukuthi, wait, mina, I don't want to be in love. I don't want to get married because I saw my mom and dad doing this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, these are big things. I really wish that you could write a book, but I'm glad that now you are going to the people that really need to hear these things, and you are in platforms like this, which are going to be, publicized, and people will hear more of your voice, because your voice needs to be heard. It needs to echo in many, many spaces, that needs that just a little bit of adjustment in terms of personalities and understanding each other's mental situations, which is a hard thing. But when we gradually educate each other and you talk about these things as mostly African people, it will
Mm-hmm.
help a lot. It will help a lot. So now there's an interesting part of your journey through this organization and the work that you're doing. I
Mm-hmm.
know that you were also involved in outreach. When you still do go to prisons, and you go to visit in certain organizations, but you were at some point at Ukozi FM,
Yes, I will.
um, on the show, where you were specifically talking about these issues on air, which is a huge radio station, by the way, in South Africa. So, how was your experience being exposed like that, and how did you experience? Did you like it, or was it overwhelming? And how the people responded to you?
It was a mix of emotions. It was exciting, it was overwhelming, it was, oh, Okay, at first it was very overwhelming because, like when you speak about these things, by the
Yeah.
time, okay, before I even finished with the interview, that the calls coming in on my
Wow.
phone, coming in on my phone. The way it was even more than a call center. It was calls, it was WhatsApp, it was SMSs,
Mm.
and it was really interesting. And it made me realize how much work one still
Needs
needs
to be
to
done.
do. Yes, because there were people calling from different provinces and different communities, different places, they saying they need this kind of thing where they are. And it made me realize how much men are hurt, how many men are hurt, because it was not only just people my age, it was
Yes.
abanumzan, heads of homes seeking assistance. Like, and it broke my heart to like hear a man as old as my father or my grandfather coming to me and saying, Danam, this and this is what is happening in my marriage.
Wow.
And for me, I felt the urge that I sometimes, I think I've decided as one of my programs in the organization to have an event where I call the woman, you know, I call
Yes.
the woman, an event for mothers who are mothers of male children, and also a program of married women, you know, married women in terms of having them understand how their men feel, you know,
Yeah.
because sometimes we would think that abuse is only physical, but with men, it is more verbal and mental. So,
Yes.
as women, we tend to speak and say whatever, you know, bruising our men's egos in the process. And we do
Wow.
not realize the damage we are making, but there is a lot of damage happening.
And I guess also because men tend to keep quiet when they're hurt.
Ye-
So, yeah, in that situation, she
Yeah.
would
And
just be.
emotionally, men are they are very fragile. I always say that men are like kids, like are like toddlers. They get hurt easily, but they try to hide it because they are men. They are told that they are men.
Cool. Cool. Let me
Mm.
ask you this, right? So you usually you talk with men, some are married, some have problems in their marriages or in their
Mm.
relationships or just in general. Now, how do the
Mm.
women handle you? That's question number one. How do the sisters handle you? Do they like what you're doing or it irritates them? Are they happy
Ooh.
that you're helping? Or is it something that a man will hide that they're going through the sessions with you? That's number one. Then number two is the men that are in prison that you go and
Mm.
speak to physically. Do they show any
Yes.
interest of you coming back to them? So those two
Mm.
questions. The
Okay,
sisters.
first question. Hey, the sisters. Oh my lord. Yay, the things we go through. Okay. With some men, I think they just hide it from their wives or their girlfriends.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
with some, you women are detectives. So I
Who are you
sometimes
talking
feel
to? I was trying to call you. You were on another call for 12 minutes. Who was that? Let me see your phone at this time,
exactly.
20 past 10 in the morning. Who are you talking
No,
to?
I remember receiving messages from ladies
Yeah.
telling me to leave their man alone. I don't know, maybe they
Oh
thought we were
no.
dating,
Oh
Yatugiswana,
no.
there's vulgar languages and all of that. But
Oh my
I just
gosh.
explained to them, and then if a person continues doing that, I just block them. You know,
Yeah.
I just
For
block
your
them
own
immediately.
mental for your own
Yes,
mental well-being now.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. So I just block them
Yeah.
because in most cases they actually take the number from the man's phone and then they WhatsApp
Yeah.
them their WhatsApp numbers and all of that. And I remember this one woman was married to a Dlamini. So I was talking to this man, he's a Dlamini. And I'm telling the lady, I'm like, if you had asked like respectfully, you'd know by now, Guti, my mom is a Dlamini, so your husband is practically my uncle. So what would I be doing with my uncle? you know?
Oh man. And to for you to go through all that, just in the name of doing a good work for the community, and
Mm,
just a slight misunderstanding, now you have to
mm,
explain all your guts out. No, this is actually what is going on.
yeah.
Sister,
But
power
it's
to you.
things I expected when I started this. I knew that it was not gonna be easy. I'm still gonna receive some backlashes from women, especially because
Of course, yeah.
yes, because I
Yeah.
advocate for them. So the second
Yeah,
question,
and you understand them because you're also a woman as well.
yes,
Okay,
I
in
do.
prison.
In
Yeah.
prison. That one is very interesting. At first, it was so scary. Yo, the first time I went there, Jesus Christ.
I can imagine,
It was
girl.
like I was also being incarcerated when those gates were closing behind me.
Am I really gonna come out?
Yes, not even that. Like the prison life that you see in movies and I'm like, what
Yeah.
if I get in and then there's chaos and then there's everything? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But it what I can say is that we when we are outside and not close to them, we think they're animals, they are, heartless people and all of that. But when you get to sit with them, talk with them, spend time with them, you realize that they're human and
Yeah.
there are circumstances that made them be there, that put them in there. And
Yeah.
you see on some that they really really want to change, they regret whatever happened, they want the change, they want to come out better, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it gives you that drive that, you know what, I want to go back and do more. So as an
Wow.
organization, we are going back, we are going to be doing more. We are now going to be running focus groups inside the
Okay.
prison with the inmates, yes,
Okay. Right.
to help them work on their mentality.
All the best with that. And I'm sure there's not a lot of people who would actually do that. So don't ever get tired because you see no response or no volume in terms of the growth of interest.
Mm,
But it is time goes by. The right
mm,
people will stick with it. And because it's such a delicate topic and it's sort of like kept private most of the time, it might take some time for people
mm,
to really want to engage with you, but
mm.
the right ones will definitely stick to the
Yeah.
program. Yeah.
Funny enough, they open easily when they talk to me. I do not know why and I don't know how,
They
but
trust you.
it just
Hmm.
happens and it's very interesting and it's an interesting journey. I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
Mm,
So part of your community work, like emphakathini, where you, let's say emalokishini and like in
mm-hmm,
different parts of where there's a community, like young people and crime, like the crime that is always there, definitely there's like a no-go zone at night. You know that there's definitely something that's going to happen there. So
mm-hmm,
I heard that you work with SAPS and
mm-hmm.
as a chair of the youth crime prevention desk,
Yes.
right? So some of the lessons that you've learned working closely with both systems in the community, like
Mm-hmm,
what would you say, from you are not in police, you've never been trained, you are just a smart, nice, yeah, soft, but
mm-hmm.
very intelligent woman. What have you learned from working with the police and this crime prevention spaces?
What I've learned is that uh, as people in the community, ne, We have that, growing up, we've had that perspective. Yokuthi nje you can't easily go near a police or a police station.
Yeah, of
But
course.
working with them, you also realize, oh, time, man, these people are human as well, and you can engage and talk with them. It's just that we were given that perspective. I do not know if the apartheid era played a vital role in this, because back then policemen were feared. Like you see a police van, it's you have to be on the run, you know. So I
Yeah,
think that is still registered in the minds of our society people.
of course.
Mm. But working with them, you realize that we, as the community, we have been misinformed. You know, we take whatever we see and say, the police do not want to do their work, but we do not do a follow up on why is this not being done? Why is this not happening? Like, say, for example, if your police station is always complaining about resources, that is because the
Yeah.
community does not report cases. So I remember finding information that for your police station to have resources as a community, no matter how small the case is, report it, so
So
they
there's a
will
huge
know.
need.
Yes, so they will know, Wuti, this police station, there's more crime in this area, so more resources
Yeah.
are needed. But if nothing is done, then the police station will remain a small police station with no resources at all. So what we're
Wow.
trying to do as the Youth Desk Crime Prevention, we're trying to build a healthy relationship between the SAPS and the community. Yes, especially between the youth and the
Yeah.
SAPS.
Wow. A lot of people are scared to get close to those parts of
Yes. We're
of of
trying
of town.
yes, we're trying to take that fear away. So for people to know that
Yeah.
a policeman is their friend.
Actually, that's how it's supposed to be, by the way.
Yes.
I know there's good people and there's bad people, and not I'm
Yes.
not only talking in the police sector, I'm talking just
Mm-hmm.
every organization in every
Mm-hmm.
private sector or government sector. Someone would have had a bad experience and they would say, no, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But then we know that we have experienced some good and maybe a slightly some bad or more bad. So we
That
just don't
is
want to
true.
engage.
There's
Yeah.
still policemen who are crooked, who do not do their job. You know, as in every company or any business
That's
or
what I'm saying in every
organization,
sector.
in
Exactly.
every
Yeah.
sector, there are people who take the job because it's their passion, and there are
Yeah.
people who take the job because they just need a salary. You know.
And it's the
So,
only one that's available.
yes.
Yeah.
So those are the cases.
These are really tough things that you are doing, girl, but let's go on. So, so personal empowerment for you.
Yes.
What's you've spoken so much about your history and the things that happened and made you decide this is what you want to do. Now that you
Mhm.
are doing it, you know how it feels to do it.
Yes.
And so, what keeps you going at the times where you feel like I didn't get what I expected, or I got a totally negative response? And it was really cold, like you get crushed, because I do think there's moments like that. So, what keeps you
Yeah.
going when you are dealing with the low lows of what you do?
As a person, I know what it's like to not have somebody on your corner, to not have support, to not have the right support. So what I try to do is to be that support for the next person. And also what keeps me going is that no matter what response I get, but I know Uguti, in that crowd, there's definitely, if not all of them, but there's definitely going to be that one person who's going to be helped or assisted by what I am doing. So
And
that
that's your
one
goal
person,
mainly.
yes, that one person is enough for me. you know,
Yeah,
is what keeps
that's
me
true.
going. Mm,
That's true.
mm,
And now, me knowing you in person, I know that you are a beautiful, young, smart lady, beautiful in and out, well put together, well spoken. And someone would say, I don't know why she bothers and does all this hard work. She could be on TV or she could be a model.
yeah,
So how do you stay strong as you are, and brave as you sound, and soft at the same time in this like you get stories that make you sad, like or you almost
mm.
cry, but then you keep smiling because you're passionate about what you're doing. Like how do you stay strong and still be feminine at the same time?
Man, what I can say is God, because sometimes I also surprise myself. I'm like, you really did that? How? You know? And
Mm,
I'm like,
yeah,
this is God. Because I also believe that this idea of this organization is not just me and my intelligence, but
it's bigger than you.
it's a God given purpose because it's way bigger than myself, you know.
Yeah,
So I can say that
absolutely.
it is God. God gives me the strength because massively feel overwhelmed. I go to my corner. I'm like, God, you're the one who told me to do this. So you can't leave me like this. I can't allow you ukuthi ngibe kanjena. You know, you can't
And
allow me.
yeah,
Yes, come in, take charge. Eyakho lento, take the wheel, drive it, and I'll
from here
go.
on,
Yes, I'll
move
go
me
where you
forward.
want me to go.
Yeah, I
Yes.
guess that's a very powerful point of you drawing your strength from,
Yes.
the Most High God, because on your own, with your own intelligence, it wouldn't be as powerful as it is and impactful as it is, because you also need to have a bigger wisdom, stronger
Mm,
wisdom to be
yeah.
able to handle these issues and deal with these people, because you speak to them, but then when you go home, on your way home, when you're busy
Mm,
checking your socials, these things still come to your mind, they play back,
they do.
you know and then if you're on your own, you'd end up being stressed yourself. You'd be like killing yourself with nobody's
Man,
paying you, by the
it's
way,
not
no one
even
is
worth
paying
it.
you.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing, that you're doing this out of love, out
Mm,
of passion, wanting to help and enlighten someone else.
mm,
So yeah, I really, really like the fact that you draw strength from the one who's actually given you the idea, because he knew and he
mm,
knows how to take you from point C to point D and so on.
yes. Mm,
Now, while we're still talking about your strength, what
mm.
does healing look like to you? Not just for others, but for yourself.
Um, for me, healing is like a robot.
Yeah.
Um, one moment it's green, one moment it's orange, the next
Yeah.
it's red, you know.
Yeah.
Because one moment you feel fine on top of the world, and the next moment you don't know how you feel numb, you don't know if you're okay or you're not, you're just in the middle.
Yeah.
And the next you like, you know what? Angifuni lutho, I don't want anything. Just I want to be
Yeah.
left alone. I need my
Yeah.
space. I need, you know.
Right now, I
I
just want to
remember,
cry. I just
yes,
want to close myself in the room and just cry. I don't care who says what. Just let me
mm,
be. Yeah.
yes. I remember watching this video. This guy was talking about healing. He said healing is like a box that has a switch in it and a ball. The ball is big, so the ball starts big. The box is in the back of a van. So as the van is moving, the ball is moving inside the box. So it's touching the switch on, off, on and off. But it is keeps moving. The ball is shrinking. So over the years, over some time, the ball shrinks. You know, you start forgetting about these things and all of that. And then
Yeah.
if the ball moves again and it touches the switch, there's a trigger.
Yeah.
Now
You
back,
go back to
yes,
that
something happened, you
feelings
know.
again, remembering
Yes.
all those things.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bola
Wow.
shrinks again, izibe ncane, you know, and
Hmm.
now you've forgotten. Hey, kambe, something like this happened. And
Yeah.
then, ngelinye ilanga, at some point, the ball hits the switch again, and you're like, oh God, yeah, once upon a time, you know. So
Yeah.
healing is a process, but it's a never ending process. You just learn how to live with your bruises, learn how to live with your scars, you know.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree with you on that. Now, a quick one. So you speak so openly about your experiences and your from where you were and where you are now.
Yes.
Just if you could describe in your terms the love, like when you talk about love in relationships now, we spoke about love and the parent love and the child's love. But then
Mm.
how would you describe in one word love in relationships or in community? But I think it's mostly interesting in relationships because that's where we get the big emotional punches from.
In one word,
Mm.
I'd say home.
Yeah,
Home.
it feels like home.
It feels like home. And home not being a structure, but
Mm.
home probably being a person or people where you feel safe, where you feel heard,
Yes.
where you feel understood.
Yeah.
But by saying safe, I'm not only meaning physically, but you're mentally and emotionally safe, you know. So I'd
Yeah.
say I think home is the
It's a
definition of
perfect description ever. You
mm,
just nailed it. That will make someone think for real that is
mm,
this what I'm feeling? And if I'm
mm,
feeling this way, I don't really think that I'm being loved, then
yes.
maybe that's actually where my love is.
Mm,
So, yeah, man, that's powerful. Thank you so much for actually coming down to the core of
mm,
what love should feel like. Because we
mm,
know there's no place like home. Where you go
mm,
out there
yes.
and things gets tough, you want to come back home where you
Yes.
are being loved regardless
Mm,
of what you are or what you've done.
yes.
I know that you believe in God, you're a Christian, and
Mm-hmm.
so you probably have like a scripture that you live with or you live by that's your favorite that keeps you going. What is it? Would you like to share?
I actually have two. The first one is Isaiah 60, verse 22, which says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen.
Wow.
And the second
Waiting
one
on the
is
Lord.
Luke, yes, waiting on the Lord, patience. And the
Yeah.
second one is Luke 22, verse 42, which says, Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes tough situations come and you're like, God, take it away. Why me? But then we forget
Exactly.
the will of God, that Father, if it is your will. Because sometimes I always say this prayer that if I want something or if I'm applying for something, I'd say, Father, if it is good in your eyes, let me get it. But if it is not good, then let it pass me by.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's powerful, sis. I like both those scriptures, and I'm sure most of us will be looking for them because they are place where you really find hope and you feel like you don't really need to stress yourself, being overwhelmed. You can always go to the one that
Yes.
that knows and sees everything and will
Mhm.
help you. Yeah,
Yes.
I guess that's why you're doing well. I guess the wisdom, I guess the wisdom comes from the one that's bigger than you. So that's why you were actually like, on the right lane.
Mhm.
So if you, I know that you are a busy woman, I'm gonna say this like more and more because I want people to know that you are very young and you are very
Mm,
dedicated to your work. You work
mm-hmm,
with the municipality, you do a very important work in the community,
mm-hmm,
in the districts where you live in.
mm.
And at the same time, you are not forgetting your work that you've initiated on the side.
Mm.
So if you weren't doing this work for the community, apart from your 9 to 5, what else do you think you would be doing?
Um, I've always wanted to work with people.
Yeah.
So when I finished high school, I went to do cognitive sciences, which is the study of human mind. So my
Mm,
focus was going to be on the psychology part. So
okay.
I think I'd be doing that, which is actually what I'm going back to. I'm going back to studying psychology as we speak. So
Interesting.
yes,
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah,
a
that's a very interesting.
psychologist.
Understanding people's minds.
Yes.
I wish you all the best, girl, on that. And I think it aligns with the majority of your work, that what you're putting together has to
Yes.
have that
Hmm.
quality as well. So I think it aligns exactly with what you're passionate about. So it's definitely a good one for you.
Yes, it does.
Now, in 5 years, your vision for I
Mm.
Exist, your organization, the organization that you have started is called I Exist. In 5 years, what's your vision for it?
Um, the vision is to have an I exist society. The vision is to have I exist centers in most, if not all, parts of the country or of the world, because it's needed everywhere.
Exactly.
So that is my goal, to have offices or centers of I exist in different parts of the country and the world. So
Yeah.
yes,
And you're open to working with people outside South Africa as well. Am I right?
yes, I am.
Okay. All right. That's good because we have engagements with people in Africa,
Oh,
and also outside of Africa. Yeah, we as humans we deal with like similar situations
yeah,
everywhere. So people need to really hear your voice echoing on their ears for what you do and changing lives.
yeah, that's true.
Right. Now, so many people would want to support you or partner with you in this mission. Now, how do they get to to partner with your mission? How people, where can they find you? And like, do you have social accounts or do you have like a specific line now, not your personal phone, where people can text you? So how do they get in, to engage with you?
Okay, there are socials. There's an I Exist Facebook page,
Okay, great.
and also I underscore exist on TikTok. There's I Exist as well
Okay,
on TikTok, but for now our pages are not that much active. But
right.
a person can also contact me on WhatsApp or on calls,
Okay.
yes, or via email as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's good. I see your vision and your organization grow, and it we just need to find a way that it can be put out there
Mm.
to the good quality people that will understand it, that
Mm.
it's not you against women trying to fix men. It's
Yes.
you passionate about having a mentally well put together boy child growing up
Mm.
understanding, you know, how love is. And even if it's a man that has been through so much,
Mm.
but people can always change. And the
Yes.
most attractive part of life for everybody is love.
Mm.
When you find love and when someone teaches you about love, you want to experience this. And once you experience it, you want to give it to someone else. Let them you share what you feel so they can also feel it.
Mm.
So yeah, so I really think that you definitely have a lot of work to do, but you are on the right track, and it definitely will go to the right channels where more and more people will get to know about you. But lastly, we've been talking about I exist, I exist, I exist. Explain to me, if someone hears this part of the podcast where we just say I exist, what does that really mean? What is that? What is it?
I exist. It actually means exactly that. I exist, you know. I am a person, I exist.
Yeah.
I'm a person who's been through this, I exist, you know. So for me, it was that I'm a victim and I exist. So pay attention. So for me, it was to like draw attention to the male part version of I exist, that, you know, I am
Yeah.
a man. I also get abused. So I exist,
I
you
have
know.
emotions too.
I
I'm a
have
human
emotions
too.
too. I'm human too. Allow me to cry. Allow me to be emotional. Allow me to speak. Give me platforms. I also need to be catered to, you know. So
Exactly.
it was to give that cry, to say, hey, also look at my side as well. I exist also.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying it expands to everybody basically, not
Yeah.
only male children,
Yes.
but there's women out there that are hurting and they feel like they're not being seen. And
Yes.
so they come to your channel or they find consultation with some of the people that you work with, and it
Yes.
brings them back to make them feel that I actually do exist. But I felt like I left myself somewhere because of all these things that have happened to me. So this is empowering all types of
Once
of
you're
human.
that, I've had women come to me as well, saying, "Hey,
Exactly.
Ndoni, my partner has these problems, and it's affecting me as well. It's affecting our relationship.
Absolutely.
How can you assist?" You know. So
Yeah. Okay, sis. Now, lastly, men, women that are listening as we speak on this podcast,
mm,
what who probably feel broken and they probably feel like, you know, things are really tough, times are tough. What would
mm,
you say to them? But they want to rise again. They want to enjoy life again. What would you say to that person, that woman or that man listening tonight and they feel
mm.
broken and they want to rise again?
Okay, number one, I'd go back to the first verse, which is Isaiah 60, which says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Number two, our logo as I exist is that of a phoenix, you know.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
as much as they say it's a mythical bird, but they say when shove comes to push, or when it's been bruised or old, it goes to a desert or wherever, sits on wood or
Yeah.
sticks, and it sings its lungs out until
Yeah.
fire comes beneath it, and then it burns. But from its ashes comes a new phoenix, a brand new one. So, what I'd say is that do not focus more on the grief, on the brokenness, on the wounds, but now take time for yourself and focus on you. Fill your cup first.
Yes.
Fill your cup first
Yes.
before filling another person's cup. Fill yours first until it overflows. And then the next person's cup will be filled from the overflow of your cup. Because sometimes what we
Exactly.
usually do, we are fast to fill other people's cups, you know, and we
Yeah.
forget about ourselves. So my motto for 2025 is saying I'm being selfish with me. By saying I'm being selfish with me is that I am no longer pouring on people's cups whilst mine is empty, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll be left drained. Let me fill my cup first, and then I'll be able to feel another person. If you want to take time off for yourself, zone out. If you have kids, if there's a possibility for you to take a weekend or a week, take them to their grandparents. Take time for yourself and just forget and be you once again, you know.
Yes,
And that
absolutely.
really, it really helps. It really helps just shut down, be on your corner, cry if you want to cry, let it all out, and then wake up the next morning, chest out, chin high, you know, you are you.
That's a life of a human. Every day you wake up and you try again.
But the most important thing is prayer. The Bible, God says in the Bible, those who are weary, come to me and I shall give you rest.
Wow.
Give your burdens unto me. So you pray and you're like, God, take it, you know. I
Exactly.
don't know what to do. Because most of the time we try to do things with our own might and our own power and
Yeah,
forget that we have a master who says, let it all to me, give it all to me, Mina, I'll take your burden. Actually, he has already taken our burden. All we to is to remind him, we say, God, you took our burden. So what's this now? You promised. So please keep your promise.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, I like the scripture as well. I also live by it. It says, throw all your burdens onto me. It means all your anxiety, all your
Mm-hmm.
heavy feelings. We're not meant to carry such. We just have
Yes.
to give it to the one who has the ability, because he has been there before us. He is still going to be here
Yes.
after. He is all
Mm.
knowing. So we just have to, it's really nice to know that you sometimes can't speak to the people or family or close friends or partners about some issues, but there's always an option to speak to the one
Mm-hmm.
that will
Mm-hmm.
never betray.
Yes. One who
We're gonna
knows exactly
preach.
what you need.
Exactly, we're gonna preach right now. I feel the spirit is rising.
Lalela.
We're gonna have an I exist, some
I
churchiana
am telling
somewhere.
you, I exist ministries.
Now, girl, listen, I always enjoy having sessions with you, and I like mostly about you the fact that you always speak slowly and with such a great passion about yourself and what you do, and that always leaves someone understanding exactly what you're doing. So I really admire you for that. And I just want to say everything that you are doing is making a difference. Even if it's out of 20 people and you get
Mhm.
one person that reacts positively, you've done your job,
Mm.
because it's not easy, number one. And number two, you've dealt with the hard times of it and the hardships of it, but you're still going back to it because you
Yes.
are passionate about it. And we need people like that in our societies nowadays. And for you to actually be a woman, that's like a cherry on top. That's where we really are so proud as women, and you carry all the power, and we are definitely behind you, supporting you. So in terms of healing, for me, I support you 100%. We need a healed society, and it's not a work of overnight or one
Yes.
year or 20 years. It's going to take a long time, gradually, but
Yes.
it's reaching someone. Every single action that you do, never get tired, because it is reaching someone. And healing is not about going back to who you were, it's actually about rising into
Yes.
who you
Rising from
were
those
meant,
ashes.
and
Yes.
going back to who you were meant to be.
Mm.
So people lose themselves a lot. We lose
Yes.
ourselves in these situations that bring us down. But you have to always remember who
Mm.
you were actually meant to be, because it's in your heart. God
Yes.
gave it to you. You know that this is what I want to do with my life. And then we just people that carry the pains, most of the pain, we carry it, with the greatest hope that time heals, but it takes long. So when people talk to
Yeah.
people like you, it cuts the burden,
Mm.
so much that you feel a little bit of light in the dark that you've been, covering
Yes.
yourself in. And many of the scars that we have remind us of how we cannot be so bad to another person, because this experience hurt me, and so I have to show the goodness and kindness and love and passion to other people. And the more you think of yourself like that, that's what you become. Like you
Yes.
spoke about the law of attraction of the things that we've been through, the
Mm-hmm.
more we hear positive and we practice it in our minds and we say it back to ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror, and we get the courage to actually do it when we go out there in the reality, the
Mm-hmm.
more we become of that
Yes.
positive. And then we don't just survive these things, we transform. You had
Mm-hmm.
your experience, somebody who could have come out of that experience of the abusive relationship
Mm-hmm.
spitting fire, wanting
Yes.
to bewitch that man, wanting to send to send the short guys.
That
But
is
you
true.
transformed, you wanted to be better, you wanted to rebuild yourself,
Mm.
you waited for your healing process, and at the time you were thinking of positive things. What can I do from here on? And that's what it means to exist with a purpose.
Yes.
Right. So your scars are basically now someone else's help. And
Yes.
it's what wakes you up in the morning, and you'll be like, I choose to be wise. I choose to try and be smart because I've heard this situation before. I'm
Mm.
trying by all means not to fall in the hands of somebody who is going to do this again. So you choose
Yes.
wisely. Take your time. Yeah, man, I guess things that happen to us are never meant to make us silent.
Mm.
No matter where you are in the world, the things that happen to us, they're never meant to be silent. Even if it's the pain, that's when you actually have to speak. You're meant to speak. You're meant to rise. We're meant to heal, not just ourselves,
Mm.
just generations in general, and other people
I
that,
believe that there's a reason
yeah,
for everything that you go through.
absolutely.
You may not see it that at that exact time when you are going through it, but at some point you'll be like, "Oh, I went through that because one, two, three." God wanted me to see
Exactly.
this. God wanted me to learn.
Like what you're going through now, somebody might be, they're gonna go through it maybe next month or the next
Exactly.
month, or so you have, if you have courage to talk about it, when that time comes, they'll be like, oh, I heard about this person, they said they survived the situation and they did A, B, and C. So in my closing words, appreciating what you do as a woman, I would say we don't just survive, we transform, and from
Mm-hmm.
there we lead. We have the ability to rebuild. And for me, when I think about I exist, that's what it means to me with the purpose.
We are rebuilding.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much for your time. It's always lovely to have you. I always enjoy myself when I'm with you, and everyone basically who has been around you, in the seminars that we've had. People
Yes.
always go home wanting to know, who is this girl? What is she all about? And you always stand out. So I really wish you all the best, and I'm hoping that you'll have more and more engagements after sharing your story and your journey and your passion in these platforms like this one.
Thank
So
you
thank you
so
so
much.
much for your time, sis, and have a good night.
Thank you for having me. Have a good night to yourself.
Thanks, my love. Bye.
Bye.